What's up, fellow internet denizens? I am back. Sorry about my absence. The stress from 2020, combined with the joy of getting married, caused me to pupate. My species does that sometimes if we feel too many emotions at once. Anyway, I was watching a YouTube video about books that ought to be adapted, and I wound up agreeing with some of this guy's points. I realized I had my own list of books I wanted to adapt, so here it is. A few points before I get into it, though. First, there will be a structure to this. The book, a brief summary without spoilers, what medium I would like to see it in, and what changes I would make. Second, you will notice how I tend to favor animation. I think that a lot of fantasy and sci-fi would be better in animation, even if it's meant for adults. If you disagree, pause the video right now and watch Castlevania. You will thank me later. Third, everything on this list cannot have been adapted to screen before, but may have an adaptation on the way or in active production. Also, if it cannot be adapted to screen due to either Megacorps being Megacorps or sheer complexity, it will likely not be included in the list proper. Anyway, here we go. Number 1. Heroes Die by Matthew Woodring Stover. Summary. This is a gritty, grimy isekai from about 20 years before isekais became cool. Basically, you have two worlds, a gritty, overcrowded, caste-based cyberpunk reality, and a fantasy realm called the Overworld. Actors get isekai'd and film themselves in Overworld in order to make VR experiences for the masses back on Earth. A man named Hari is an actor, and his ex gets kidnapped in Overworld, so he has to go save her. The thing is, they had a messy breakup, so while Hari, called Kane in Overworld, tries to save his ex, he explores his relationship along with the reality of Overworld and everything he's done there and everyone he's killed there. This book is very masculine, but I think that's kind of the point of the story. Hari is a man trying to make his way in a world where people are so rich that all they can do is be entertained while everyone else is just their toys. Kane can be himself on Overworld, but there's still horrible things happening around him, some of them caused by him. Mediums. I think the real world should be the grimiest, slimiest live action, like Total Recall or Blade Runner, the newer ones anyway. While Overworld should be vividly animated to highlight the difference between the two worlds. I know there's already a huge difference in tech and magic and all, but here's the thing, the POV also switches when Hari travels to Overworld. On Earth, it's third person. Hari is just another downtrodden person. While on Overworld, it's first person, and Kane feels much more like himself. I feel the POV switch should be reflected by this change in medium. Also, I think Muse could do a pretty good soundtrack for this. It's a shame Muse stopped making music after the second law. I am not salty about their new stuff. Shut up! Would I change anything? Probably not. Maybe cut some inner monologues, but other than that, you're good to go. Number 2. The Kane Chronicles by Rick Riordan. Summary. This is the underrated sister series to the Percy Jackson saga. It's about two siblings who are descended from Egyptian pharaohs, learning about Egyptian magic and meeting gods. I especially love the magic system, as it's literally just the ancient Egyptian language with a few other added bonuses from traditional ancient Egyptian magic. If you say a word in Egyptian or write a glyph, it comes true, sometimes with hilarious consequences. For example, if you don't say the word sword with enough conviction, you might accidentally summon a butter knife during a fight. Also, if you know somebody's secret name, you can control them. Anyway, these kids have to fight against Apophis, the god of destruction, while also fleeing the magical government and several angry gods and monsters. Mediums. I'd probably make this a middle grade cartoon series. Don't hate me, there are some awesome cartoons for that demographic, such as Gravity Falls and Avatar: The Last Airbender. I would definitely change animations between worlds, though. On Earth, it's, I guess, your average middle grade animation style, but in the Duat, make it like a more serious, grave, eldritch Egyptian style. Would I change anything? Yeah, there are some jokes that even I found cheesy growing up, so nix those. Also, I would remove the cassette bits. Those were good, but I don't think they suit a TV format, especially in the year of our Lord 2024. Number 3, Leviathan by Scott Westerfield. Summary. So, Netflix just announced an anime based on this, and I'm excited. This was my favorite book series back in middle school. Basically, in the Great War, the Triple Entente, I don't know if I'm saying that right, I don't speak French, has biotechnological weapons and is fighting against the Central Powers, who use steampunk mech suits. A girl dresses up as a boy and joins the Royal Navy. Meanwhile, Franz Ferdinand's son is on the run from the Black Hand and several other people, now that his father is dead. They cross paths and befriend a scientist, and they all go on adventures as the Great War rages on, traveling across several battlefronts and meeting people like William Randolph Hearst and Nikola Tesla. Mediums. I think anime is actually great for this format. However, the art style looks generic in the pics that I've seen. It doesn't reflect the beautiful art that's included in the books. It just feels like a generic slice of life or meet cute sort of anime. I would give it something grittier like Attack on Titan. Other than that, I would probably not change anything, aside from some of the tension between Alec and Darren, because I'm not really a fan of like flirtatious tension, but that's just a personal thing. Anyway, number 4, Monstrous Regiment by Terry Pratchett. Summary. There is already a stage adaptation, but that doesn't really count for me. I want to see this on screen. Anyway, imagine Mulan, but in the Napoleonic era, trying to rescue her brother from a holy war by dressing and fighting as a man. She joins a troop where everyone has their own secrets, and as they fight, you learn more about each soldier. This book will have you questioning several things by the end. What is a man? What is a war? Can vampires get addicted to caffeine? Medium. I think this is better as a live action. I personally believe this because it would make the points that Terry Pratchett made more real. Besides, I'm a fan of the movie Master and Commander, and I think that era of warfare should be live action as a personal preference. Some aspects such as Carborundum and Igor would have to be animated in. But other than that, I think we're at an adequate level of tech to be able to do that. Would I change anything? Not really. I think it's golden. GNU, Terry Pratchett. Number 5, The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. Summary. Millions of years ago, an alien race dumped their gene seed on several planets, including Earth. In one of these worlds, an ice ball called Gethan, gender has become fluid. Everyone presents male for most of their lives, but become Kemer, or somewhat feminine and breedable, insert memes here, for about a week out of the month and can gestate and give birth. An ambassador named Genly comes from Earth and observes these people, and tries to entice them into joining the galaxy at large as trading partners. He makes friends and enemies as he navigates this ice ball and learns about their cultures. It's a great book. I am personally fascinated with how gender and self-expression are affected by culture and vice versa, and this book does a great job at showing that. The king gives birth at one point. Genly is called a pervert several times because he cannot get pregnant or enter Kemer state. And a lot of these people aren't really open to the concept of women or men as separate entities. Give this book a read. Medium. Live action miniseries. I think it should be like a travel log type thing with Genly narrating every so often about things he notices in the world around him. We don't need a lot of special effects for magic except for a few instances here and there. I also think Michael B. Jordan would be a great Genly. Would I change anything? I would give the lore dumps a little bit more life, like have them told by the people that Genly meets, maybe with smoke animations or shadow puppets in the background as it's told. Number 6, Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Summary. Okay, I usually hate amnesia plots, but this one is great. A guy wakes up on a spaceship with 2 dead bodies in the stasis chambers next to him. He needs to figure out why he's light years away from Earth, why everyone is dead, and how to get back home. However, he's not alone. This book is a great exploration of space, loneliness, and even linguistics, which I love. If you liked the movie Arrival, read this fucking book. Medium. There's an adaptation in the works for this that features Ryan Gosling. I agree this should be live action with animated elements, of course, for several things. Would I change anything? Definitely not, though Ryan Gosling's too much of a pretty boy to be Ryland. I kind of imagine someone more average looking, like Pedro Pascal. Number 7, The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. Summary. Some Blackfoot hunters break a taboo by killing a pregnant elk, not using all of her, and discarding the calf. Her spirit comes back for revenge, twisting and tearing apart their lives in gory, disgusting ways. I haven't seen too many horror movies. I get rather squeamish. But I've been trying to read more of that genre. Normally, this is better for me because it has less of an effect than blood spatters on the screen. However, this made me almost throw up a couple of times in a good way, I think. For that reason, I think it would be great on screen. Medium. Live action, obviously. Would I change anything? I'm not the best person to ask about this because I have a weak stomach. Do whatever it takes to make me puke, and you're solid. Number 8. The Legend of Drizzt by R.A. Salvatore. Summary. No, I did not just say this because I married an R.A. Salvatore superfan, and he would kick me out if I didn't include this. Hi, love. Anyway, this series of 39 books follows the adventures of a drow, or dark elf, named Drizzt Do'Urden, as he escapes the evil Underdark and goes on quests to save the world from orcs, megalomaniacal wizards, other drow, and even demons. This is a fun series with some of the best fight scenes I have ever read. If you haven't read this, read it, even if it's the first 6 or so books. Warning though, it gets pretty graphic, even in like the first book. Medium. Animated series. This is the only way we can fully appreciate the beauty and magic of Faerun. Would I change anything? Okay, there are too many death fake-outs. Like, there are so many that every time somebody dies, I kind of just shrug and accept they'll reappear in a book or two. I get that. R.A. Salvatore loves his creations, and it can be hard to kill characters that you love so dearly. But for the sake of my sanity, toss out a few of those fake-outs! Except for a special one that I can't say for spoilers' sake. Also, I want to see more of Lady Illustriel being a sexy tsundere and Drizzt being oblivious. Number 9. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Summary. The solar system has been fully colonized, and a color-based caste system, not like you think, rules supreme. Through centuries of eugenics, everyone is built for specific tasks and recognizable by their stature, hair, and skin colors. For example, golds are the rulers, violets are the artisans, and pinks are the sex slaves. Darrow is a red, which is the lowest caste. His wife is hanged, so he lashes out and also gets hanged. But he's resuscitated and brought into a secret society of rebels called the Sons of Ares. They make him a gold through gene splicing and plastic surgery and send him to a war academy, where he learns not only how to be a gold, but also how to undermine them. I've only read the first 4 books. I'll probably buy the 5th and 6th ones when we can afford more books, but I enjoy them greatly. Medium. Okay, this is best as an anime, with a lot of color contrast. Give me something like Cyberpunk Edgerunners. That's the only way I can imagine this properly. I feel like there's too much for Hollywood to fuck up in a live-action movie. Would I change anything? It's a little slow at the start, but other than that, I think it's solid. Just don't take out too much. Before we get to the last one, let's go over things that either don't qualify or can't happen. The Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. I love these books. However, they've already been adapted. I'd like to see a new adaptation that doesn't suck ass, but I don't know, man. I think this might actually be better in book form. If I were to adapt this, though, I would make Andy Black from Black Veil Brides play Thomas Wraith because he is hot. Nightwatch Saga by Terry Pratchett. Again, already adapted, the adaptation sucks. Still would love to see Best Girls Angua and Shiri animated. Heir to the Empire trilogy by Timothy Zahn. This will never happen. I am mad that this will never happen. I want Thrawn to analyze my artwork and tell me how weak I am. Well, never mind. Anyway, I am mad that this will never happen because I was raised on the Star Wars book canon and Disney took it away. I haven't read any of Thrawn's books in the new canon because I am scared they will butcher him. Number 10, The Six Gun Tarot by R.S. Belcher. Summary. This takes place in the Old West, specifically in the fictional town of Golgotha, Nevada. It's more of an anthology than a story, but all the stories connect towards the end, so it's kind of hard to place what it is. You have a boy with a magic eye trying to figure out how to use his power. You have a gay Mormon who guards the vault where his church hid the famous metal tablets. You have an angel guarding a different vault with something from before creation. You have a woman from a long line of badass assassin pirate women, and so on. Everyone interacts, this town comes to life, and it's beautiful. Mediums. I feel like the author had some great ideas here, and this book would actually be better off as a TV series rather than a book. I could go either way, animated or live action, especially if it had a couple episodes following each character and how they interacted with the world around them. Would I change anything? I would add more suspense. You kind of just flit from character to character in the book without a lot of tension. Also, I kind of figured it would end like it did, so maybe try and make that a bit more mysterious. Other than that, if you like spaghetti westerns and weird fiction, you will like this book. So, what would you like to see adapted? What mediums would you use? Would you change anything? Let me know in the comments. I'll probably make another video eventually. Maybe I'll make it about my conlings or star set like I used to. Or another literary one, like the best opening lines I've heard or the best magic systems. I might drag my husband into that one. Or perhaps books that should never be adapted. Definitely gonna make more of these though. See ya!